Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really, it's a pleasure to see overwhelming response to an esoteric subject like democracy to netocracy, and ultimately, what is it going to lead to? What we are trying to do is to see whether really do we need parliament? Do we really need some of the old age institutions, or would we need those institutions in future? And in last 1 month, if any word that has been most heard is governance, more than even government. And idea here is to have some kind of apolitical discussion to look at the future. We are so stuck in day-to-day routine and in day-to-day politics that we often do not find time to think of next 25, 30 years. And when I started thinking about it, actually I must thank my son as well. He introduced me to the subject of netocracy about 3-4 years ago. And then I really got interested, and I learned more and more and studied number of governance models around the world. And I felt it was high time we begin to think of new governance models. How do you decipher the wish of the people? And the question that was burning in my mind was that we have seen that the representative democracy, with which we are living today, how long it will last and what could be the alternatives. The idea is to look at history a little bit and see first concept of democracy was spoken by Socrates, as you know, and that was followed by his pupil Plato and then his pupil Aristotle in year 500 BC. Okay. But first parliament happened in the year 930 in Iceland. It took 1500 years by the time we had first institution of its kind. So from 930, we are somewhere in 2000. After 1100 years, obviously, like any person getting old, he gets some, old age diseases, I may say, in later vein. So there are advantages and there are disadvantages. But in the coming years, the technology would make so much difference. For example, this small little phone or your mobile device can provide you an ability to vote at any time from anywhere. You can have nano camera instituted, you can use holograms, you can have biometrics, you can retina check, you can have Aadhaar or whatever. And if this becomes polling station, that will tell you that this is a secure environment and identity of a person is accurate. Based on that, people can directly vote. If people can vote in 5 minutes, billion people can vote in 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes you can get result. So there could be increased participation of the people in the decision-making process. At this point in time, I am not being judgmental whether representative democracy is good or bad, or whether one should move to direct democracy or not. But today, technology makes it possible to go towards more direct democracy. Just as, and some of you have already seen my communication, that just as Amazon came and made Barnes and Noble somewhat less relevant, you've seen Make My Trip, I think Mr. Kalra is here, the founder. Okay, many of the travel agents, have become redundant, or at least the role has undergone change. They are not out of business though, but there is new role that is found, that same thing. So, can we imagine some kind of e-parliament, or whether if you want e-parliament, or parliament if you want, or we can move directly, or there are some options in between. There are a lot of developments that are happening in different countries. A lot of thought leaders have talked about it. And actually, Alexander Barr, he spoke about netocracy. And that is, netocracy, they say, shall be the new, more evolved form of democracy. The internet and the other technologies are just not improving the quality of life. They have the ability to fundamentally disrupt our understanding and functions of nation states, law and order, governance, and political mechanisms, etc. So today, you can change a lot using technology. And all that we need to do is to think little ahead of time, sit back, and see what new situations are going to come up, and how are we going to address those issues. Even legislation, it's always a laggard. Something happens and then you begin to think about it. Today you can use predictive technologies and figure out what is likely to happen over a period of next year, 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years. You can really visualize a lot of things. Ultimately, nobody exactly knows what's going to happen, but at least to the extent you can visualize, you can plan. If you can plan, you can do a lot. And you see large corporations and others, they bet billions of dollars on setting up a plans, facility based on next 5, 10, 15 years horizon. So, most important thing is some kind of visualization, conceptualization, and then articulating laws. As I said, whole legal system, almost in most part of the world, has become so reactive rather than proactive. And lawyers, of course, are always laggard. We are the last people in the row. But the way in which I'm thinking is, look at Wikipedia, what happened? It made what you call Encyclopedia Britannica almost redundant. You don't go back to dictionary. How credible or not is one judgmental issue, but most people think that is a reliable source somewhere on the line. And who develops Wikipedia? There are 77,000 editors of this Wikipedia. You have real-time definitions and evolving definitions coming up. So in a similar way, conceptually it is possible to introduce a new law on a real-time basis, to amend a law on a real-time basis, and even to repeal a law could be done almost on a real-time basis, because you have technology available today.